The Creative Process Podcast with Neal Portnoy and Catherine Natali.
Okay, it looks like we're on the air. Welcome to the Creative Process Podcast. I'm your host, Peter Papagiorgio, and my co-host to the podcast is my beautiful wife,
Catherine Natali.
And you know why her last name is Natali? Because she can't spell Papagiorgio.
Oh, that's not true.
No, it's not true.
It's not true at all.
It's a long reason. So.
And our third co-host is Chanel Abella.
That's our
Here's
dog,
our
Chanel.
little Chanel Abella. She's a great listener, and she really wants to know about Neal Portnoy. Neal Portnoy is an entertainer who happens to be able to draw, and his drawings are spectacular.
They're phenomenal.
He is also an athlete. Neal blends all these aspects of himself into a illustrations of employs a realism that impossible to capture only with felt ink tip pens, markers. His drawings are breathtaking. So, Neal, what is your creative process?
Well, let's before we even get to that, let's find out a little bit about Neal. Neal, tell us, a little bit about yourself, where you grew up.
I am a New Englander my entire life, having spent a number of years. I won't tell you the amount because that way you'll know how old I am. But we moved here, my wife Dorothy and I, 5 years ago from the Boston area.
Boston.
So if you want me to park the car at the harbor in the yard, I can do it all.
My mother was born in Worcester.
Oh, that's where I'm from, Worcester, Mass.
Yeah.
And I had
That's exactly where I grew up.
I had a crazy roommate from Boston too.
Well, they're all crazy. They try driving.
Oh,
in the
wait a minute.
streets.
Was that the one that used to walk around naked in the apartment?
Yeah, she used to walk around naked. It's a long story.
Yeah,
Would you
this is before I met her. So.
Would you like to buy the pictures? I still have them. just asking for a friend. But we had a dream almost 6 years ago of coming to the entertainment capital of the world, because that's what I do. I illustrate all the athletes. I illustrate all the entertainers. A very unique medium of which I create in that felt tip magic markers.
Now,
or as my wife says, she always says, no, they're markers. You put the magic in.
That's true, yeah. Tell us, when you were young, did you start drawing at a young age?
Well, yeah, I've been drawing since 5 years old. I had a very good baseball career. I was a baseball player.
Oh, really? Oh.
Scholarship pitcher at University of Miami back in 1971 for Coach Ron Frazier, legendary Hurricane coach Ron Frazier. I had an injury, tore my knee up, became a statistic, played a little semi-pro baseball, got involved in college baseball. I was a pitching coach, 3 different divisions for 15 years back.
That must have been heartbreaking when you're busted your knee.
Yeah, well, the dream was gone. I mean, as an athlete,
the dream.
But once your wheels are gone as an athlete, you're done.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine I grew up with, and he was in the AAAs for Mets. And they drafted him.
Their AAA team was here in Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah. They drafted him, and I remember this is back in the late 70s. They gave him a brand new car.
Oh, yeah.
And he was the pitcher. He was on his way, man. And then he hurt his shoulder.
Yeah, it
That's
happened.
it. The career was over. Yeah.
Well, we tend to forget how young they are, professional athletes.
Yeah.
They're in their 20s, 30s, and then you get Tom Brady at 44 years old.
Yeah.
They're the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
The GOAT.
Yep. Yeah.
Unbelievable. But, I've illustrated all of them. I've done the football players. I've done the basketball. I've done the baseball. Now it's all entertainment here in Las Vegas. I've illustrated probably over 300.
Now, in regards to drawing, did your parents draw, brothers and sisters? Or?
Nobody.
Nobody.
Nobody had the ability. No.
Wow.
It's an ability, just like baseball.
Yeah.
As an athlete,
Yeah.
You're born with ability. You learn a technique. You enhance the technique by repetition. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again.
Did you go to art school?
No, I was a baseball player.
Wow.
Wow. No,
Wow.
that's cool.
No formal training.
No formal training.
No.
Wow. Amazing.
It's in his DNA.
So tell us the story in the beginning. So you no longer have a sports career.
Yep.
And so what happened? Because most people would be depressed,
I was there.
crying.
I was there.
Could be, would be.
I was there.
So
I could
tell
have been a
us where.
contender.
You know what? Listen, there are 2 types of people in this world. Those who are survivors and those I don't talk about. The other ones I don't talk about.
The criers,
I mean,
the ones who
you
cry,
make a left-hand turn, you make a right-hand turn. Thankfully, I had the ability to draw. I did my homework. I researched. I started doing art shows. I worked at a newspaper. I took any job that was related in the creative industry, and then developed my craft. Obviously, you can tell I've got a personality. Personality helps. It's networking. You network with people that your weakness is their strength, and you become stronger. And we just keep growing.
Very true.
We just
Yeah.
keep growing.
Yeah, I worked with a director. Obviously, I'm an actor, writer. And he said, always surround yourself with people who are better than you so that you
become better.
become
You
better.
have to strive to
and
become better.
Yeah, and you strive and you're enlightened to be better.
I don't know that I personally, in my opinion, would use the word better. What I do is very unique. I have very few peers. In fact, if you do your homework real hard, you won't find anybody that does what I do with magic markers, because there isn't anybody. I've been doing it 48 years.
I haven't seen it.
There are brilliant painters. There are brilliant watercolors, airbrush artists. We're talking about a stain.
Yeah.
Unlike oils, acrylics, and watercolors where you can mix colors, markers a stain. You put it down, it's down.
Yeah.
It's down.
It's
yeah.
layers upon layers upon layers upon layers. So what I try to do, because that's my strength, I find people that my weakness is their strength. Those are the people that I want to bring on board. Those are the people that will make me stronger. And, in the 5 years we've been here, we've developed quite a team of creatives that work with and for Portnoy Gallery.
Oh.
And we've become stronger.
Now, years ago, did you start with illustrations or did you just start the
Funny little cartoons.
funny little cartoons?
Yeah, which I still do. I have this character called Doofus. Because
Doofus?
Well, we've all known a doofus.
Yeah,
in our
yeah.
life,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
So it's something that I do in literally 30 seconds. I can do Doofus. And, excuse me, my wife Dorothy came up with, Doofus has got to have his own Facebook page. So Doofus has the Travels of Doofus. And then we get into merchandising it. We have Doofus on a T-shirt, so that when people travel to foreign countries and go visit family back home, they have their Doofus T-shirt, and they're taking pictures. Doofus is in New Zealand this week. They're flying on a plane. Doofus is looking through the plane and sees the clouds.
Doofus in France.
They go to bed. They go to bed and they're sleeping in a Doofus shirt. I'm sleeping with Doofus tonight. Someone asked me, "You're moving to Sin City. Do you ever think of drawing nudes?" And I looked at him and said, "I got it covered. I'm going to call it Portnoygraphy."
I drew nudes.
Of me.
The visual
Of me, right?
the School of Visual Arts I went to.
No,
so I
before
used
we
to,
met.
and it is the most weird thing because obviously the person's naked and you have to really study their anatomy, and it is
That's
very
how we met.
strange. It's a very
I
strange
used
feeling.
I used to do that, and then I would cartoon the face and give it to the girl after. Hopefully, I was going to get lucky because she liked it. I don't know, my single days.
So take us now, 2021. So when you get your inspiration, what happens? Like you're in your studio. How do you start?
Well, most of the work I do in the gallery now is all commissioned.
Okay.
I don't do work on spec.
Okay.
I've been doing this too many years. So people commission me for a portrait, an illustration, a Portnoy caricature, the cover of a magazine, a newspaper. I was the illustrator at the Review Journal for almost 2 years. So I'm busy. We've going in a lot of different directions. Just signed on with Park West Galleries for
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations.
For
yeah.
international representation. So I've got 48 years of inventory. I'm the perfect match for a Park West because, not only do I continue to create, but I've got inventory.
Right.
I've got existing inventory which they can put in the print, get it on every cruise ship all over the world, get it in all their galleries, and everybody wins.
So if a celebrity walks in, and you've done how many other named celebrities you've done?
Oh, I couldn't
done
name it. There's too many.
So many,
There's too
right?
many.
I've seen them. It's gorgeous.
Thank you.
And I like the one of Billy Joel because I'm
Billy
a big
Joel,
Billy Joel
that's true.
fan.
Elton John, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you start? You draw?
Reference photography.
Okay,
I don't do anything live. The only thing I do live is my caricature show, which is when you're doing a trade show, a sales meeting, a corporate event, you want to bring entertainment in. I'm literally Don Rickles with a pen. You do not want to sit across from me. And I'll give you a case in point.
Yeah, give us an example.
I'm at a national trade show, and a woman sits across from me, and I looked at her and says, tell me, what the hell color hair would you like me to give you? Because obviously you can't make a choice. Guy sat across from me. I looked at him and said, tell me, when did you break the nose? I never broke it. Well, don't worry. I can fix it. Woman sat across me. I said, when did you get the braces off? 2 years ago. They took them off too early, put them back on. So my job, can I draw? Of course I can draw. But they want to listen to me. How am I going to roast them? Who am I going to insult?
Yeah,
Listen, my fee isn't cheap to bring me out, but it's OPM. It's other people's money. It's corporate money. They pay my fee to be there. I don't set up and sell and charge people because the only thing predictable about that is it's unpredictable.
Right.
My money's out front.
Right.
You're paying me as an entertainer who happens to be able to draw. That's the difference.
How many markers do you have?
3,000 and counting.
Oh, my God. I've been in your studio.
Yeah, but I only use 3. The rest are for show. No, I'm kidding.
3,000. Oh, you
So you said you sometimes, you may make a mistake. What do you do?
I'm a caricaturist at heart.
Right.
And in caricatures, every line's an expression. So even though I have made a mistake that you would never see, I make it into something else. Because it's a line. That's all it is.
Yeah.
I've seen you do a gloss look. It looks like, on Facebook, I've seen some of your work.
Those are the reproductions.
Okay.
So in other words, you do an original drawing.
Right.
8 by 10, 11 by 17, 24 by 30, whatever. Then you make a high resolution scan of the original drawing. Similar to, you know about the piece at Allegiant Stadium?
Yes.
Okay.
I was going to say.
That's 28 by 40 feet. Someone said, well, you did that with markers? No. That's wallpaper. Well, what do you mean? They make a high resolution scan of my 18 by 24 original work of art.
Right.
Then they blow it up.
Digitize it. And they blow it up like wallpaper.
Years ago, you would have had to go to the stadium and actually do it, right? If you, like 50 years ago or 40 years ago. That's how things have changed.
Yeah, and then they had open air stadiums, so that, even if you painted it, it washed out the next day.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So I mean, it's as an illustrator. Listen, can I do the fine artwork? Of course, but an illustrator's work's made to be published. Keyword is published. Another word similar to published is reproduced. Yeah. You're going to put it on acrylic, on canvas, on paper, on textile. How are you going to merch it? How are you going to reproduce it? How are you going to publish it? Cover a magazine.
Do you like G-clays or?
G-clays are high, 90 mile an hour inkjets.
Yeah.
And they've really, come a long way. G-clays are wonderful, but it depends on what surface you're printing the G-clay on. You could use Arches watercolor paper. You can use 8.5, 11, 100-pound coated index. It all depends on what you're printing to get the quality. Now, G-clays have about a 200-year.
Wow. Yeah.
But they haven't asked a 200-year-old man yet, so I don't know how the hell they came up with that number.
Well, Neal, do you ever get stuck?
Yeah.
Everybody does.
Yeah. How do you deal with that?
I get right over it. Go to something else.
Okay.
I go right back. 5 minutes, I'm fine.
Yeah. So if you have something that you're doing and you're stuck, or you said that people pay you to do it, you just put it away and then you...
No, I yell first and I look over at Dorothy and she looks at me and goes, walk away, because I'll rip it up. She'll go, walk away. And I have to get up, literally, walk away and take a little break, have a coffee, whatever, come back. Oh, I got it. That's the stuck.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun to see what you have drawn like 20 years ago versus what...
I still have those.
I know. And you go back and you say, wow, because you can see your progression as an artist.
Absolutely.
Can you talk about that, like the journey?
Well, geez, I've got pictures on my back wall in the studio on the big overhead door that were done in the early 1981 too. And if you do the math, that's 38 years ago. I had a full head of hair.
Yeah.
I have pictures. I can prove it. I really can.
What happened to it? Where'd it go?
I don't know. 2 ex-wives gone. See you later, bye.
That explains it.
But, I'll look back at stuff like that, and I have a few samples to show people, but they were pretty good back then.
Mm-hmm.
But someone once asked me, "What's the best piece you've ever done?"
The latest one?
The next one.
The next one.
The next one. That's
Yeah.
my answer every time.
Yeah,
The next one,
that's
because
good,
you're
yeah.
always learning.
Yeah.
You're always learning.
You're always growing, yeah.
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 Who was your first celebrity that you've done? Had to do
Wow.
way back? The first celebrity.
Bob Dylan.
Oh,
Everybody must get stoned.
That was not pre-planned, people. That all of a sudden came together. But I was working at the Worcester
Spontaneous.
Telegram and Gazette, and their entertainment writer, Jack Tubert, who since passed on, used to do what John Katsimides does here for the Review Journal, The Man About Town, The Entertainers. And Bob Dylan was playing 1979, the Boston Garden. So he said, "I don't want to run a picture. Can you do something for me?" That was my first published piece, and since then I've been published over 5,000 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
how do you feel about Hirschfeld? I actually met him way back in New York. He was a great artist.
Yeah.
One of those old timers, all done by hand.
Always had his daughter's name, Nina.
Yes,
in every
Nina
drawing.
stuck in one of their
Yep.
and now his works are obviously
Well, because he can't produce
you
anymore.
can't produce anymore. That's the thing. If
I had
you're
the same problem. I had a
I
doctor
know.
take care of a clip.
yeah, yeah. How do you feel about that, artists? You know, once
By getting it clipped? No.
about getting it clipped, you know, but artists who die and obviously their work, they can't see their work.
Well, you know,
Become
listen,
this-
you've got living artists like Michael Goddard, who does all the olives. Michael's a rock star of artist. He's got his own little niche.
Mm-hmm.
He found out what he was. Listen, he's a brilliant painter, but he found his niche with the olives and the little funny people olives. And then he, you know, I don't know how he did it or why he did it, and I really don't care, but he did do it. He got himself to the level that everybody in the collectible art market knows the name Michael Goddard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, my goal is for everybody in that field to know the name Neal Portnoy.
Of course.
And, you know, we're getting there.
And they will after this thing airs.
That's right, in October.
Neil, do you want to show the audience?
Yeah, we want to see some of your work.
Well, I'm going to show you real quickly the Knights collection. I did these Portnoy caricatures of the Golden Knights, and this is one of them. This is who is this? Oh, that's Patches, Max Pacioretty, and we have a series collectibles at the Garden where they're signed and numbered by me, and I've done all 29-ish type players.
Wow.
They're all done.
Wow.
They're all
So
done.
how long does that take you to do?
I can't tell you that because then you'll say, "Well, how come you're charging this?"
Oh, okay. We want to.
But the most important thing is you don't pay me for the time it takes to do it.
Yeah, you pay
me
for the vision.
years it took to learn
Right.
to do it, and the time
Right, to
it
get
takes.
there.
Right, to
so,
get there,
of
yeah,
course.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, excuse me. That's and we can go on and on with these, and you can see a lot of the players. I don't know if we can get to his recognizable with Wild Bill, but all 29. Oh, it is
Wow.
Marc-Andre Fleury.
The shadowing and
The
everything
dog is furry. He's Fleury. I get all mixed up.
the shadowing of the face and
But you know that's the what's called here in Las Vegas the Portnoy. Now I was going to put it on.
Portnoy.
Yeah, that's being.
And you have a saying once you do something for someone.
Well, you've been Portnoy.
Exactly.
You know,
You've
already,
arrived.
Listen, you're already a work of art meant to be enjoyed. So Las Vegas has a
You
question.
might as well be
Have you been
Portnoy.
Portnoy?
Yeah.
Right. That's our new jingle, which I'm sure you've seen out and about. But you start getting into some of the illustration work that I've done over the years. Now, this is a piece I did for MASH. Remember I talked about the early 80s?
Yes.
This was done in 1982.
Wow. All right.
Well,
Let's
it's a big
see.
book.
That is.
This is 1982.
Wow.
And somebody asked me, well, where's Frank? You didn't draw Frank. And I point over here and go, remember the episode he was mad at Hut Lips?
Yeah.
And he had to prove he was more of a man than her, and he dressed up in... There's Frank.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can get into some of the sports stuff, some of the legendary
Wow.
sports stuff.
Peter, hold on to it.
Yep.
Okay.
That's Ken Dryden, old Montreal Canadian,
Yeah.
and of course Brett Favre, and you get into current day Aaron Judge and NASCAR, and
The shadowing of the hair, the facial
Well,
expressions.
I don't think about it. I just do it.
I know you do.
You know, Dan Marino way
Wow,
back when.
look at that.
Look at
Oh, Blues
Blues
Brothers.
Brothers done in, I don't know, 1981. I can't see
Wow.
I'm a soul
Man.
man. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
You know, you get into Paul Bear Bryant, legendary coach at Alabama, with the engraved plaque. That's the recognition award. That's like one of the top things that I do. A lot of Hall of Fames for colleges. And we just heard yesterday from a school I hadn't heard from in 2 years, and they've got a new class going in, so I got to illustrate the class. But you get into some of the entertainers. Let me see if I can find them. Well, here we go. Coldplay.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and of course we want to talk radio. There's
yeah.
Howard.
Oh, and there's Frank.
Yeah, that's the Rat Pack is back. And if we turn the book the other way, this way, I'm going to do this really carefully. You've got Taylor Swift.
Oh,
nice.
That's nice.
Wow.
So I mean, listen. People say, do you pick and choose who you do? Because we see all these caricatures, all these Portnoy caricatures all over the place. You know, and then they'll call the gallery. I'm going to flip it this way. There we go. They'll call the gallery and they'll say, well, can I get Portnoy? I said, sure. You can come over with your full band and play for nothing for me, and we'll do something. I mean, this is what I do for a living.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be Portnoy. Well, I charge money to do it.
Well, you have to live.
Yeah.
And
Well, I mean, you know, it took him years to get to this point.
yeah,
you know.
exactly.
Dog is so cute. Dog is good as head.
She wants to be Portnoyed.
Well, you know how many dogs I've illustrated over the years?
Oh,
Many.
so you do dogs too?
I don't do them. I draw them.
I mean,
We're
No, I
in Vegas.
mean-
Got to be very careful.
Anyway, we need to wrap up the show.
okay.
Isn't it amazing how quickly the time goes when
I
you
know.
when you give me a microphone?
So give us your website so people can
Contact you,
you.
get Portnoyed.
Get Portnoyed.
There's two different sites. The gallery site is Portnoy, Portnoy, gallery.com. The other site for the Portnoy and the merchandise is Portnoyed, Portnoy.Vegas. And you'll see all the merchandise from cups. I'm just showing you some of the
some
of the pet portraits.
Oh,
And again, all magic markers.
Oh,
I know our
wow.
viewers can't see this, but trust me, they're there.
Well, Neal, you're also on Facebook and everything else too. So.
Yeah, we got Portnoy Gallery
Yeah.
LV on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn.
And if anybody comes to Vegas,
Yeah.
check out his studio.
yeah.
Well, it's a destination spot. We've got a lot of ads going on billboards and radio stations. We're soon to make it a destination place. Come now while there's no fee, but in the future there'll be a fee because it's more a museum than it is a gallery.
Yes, yeah.
Because it's 48 years of what I've
Yeah,
done all over
yeah,
the country. Yeah.
yeah.
You're a
neat.
legend in Vegas.
No, I'm not. I'm a guy who sits on my rear end ski. I'm talking in Polish now
Okay.
and draws. That's what I do.
Thank you, Neal, for being on
Thank
the
you,
Creative
Neal.
My pleasure.
Process podcast. See you guys next time.
Bye.